All right, I want to go over conditional blind bidding, specifically how it works in our league. But let's start with how waiver requests work in general. Waiver requests are processed every day except Sunday night and Monday night. That means Tuesday through Saturday night, waiver requests are processed. All players are locked at the start of their game each week, no later than Monday night's game. And this is for players that are on a bye. They will be locked by the Monday night game each week. That means all players are locked for blind bid request on Tuesday, which will process Tuesday night. Any player that did not get bid on will be unlocked and be available as a first come, first served free agent pickup. These free agent pickups still have a $1 salary, but you can pick them up without having to wait for waivers to process. Let's take a look at conditional blind bidding and how it works in this league. So go to For Owners, Add Drops, and you see the current waiver claims that I have, which I do not have any yet. And then here is the windows to make the waiver request. On the left are all of the available players, and on the right is my entire roster. If you have an entire full roster, you will need to drop somebody in order to add someone. And yes, you do get that person's salary back to spend on the person's salary that you're obtaining. So, I mean, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail here in a second. But let's go ahead and start this off. Since I don't have a full roster, I don't actually have to drop a player to add a player, so we're just going to go ahead and do that to start with. So let's say I want to add Chris Conley. I'm not going to drop a player here. It says to add Chris Conley, drop no one, blind bid amount. I'll say I'm going to put 5 towards him, and it shows my maximum bid is $22, and that is my available salary cap at this time. So I want to add this claim to Group 1. That's my only option at this time. Submit request. As you can see, now I have Chris Conley as my request here, $5 bid amount, and Group 1. Now there's a couple of things I can do here. I can edit this. I can edit the amount to the bid, or I can add a player to drop, or I can add a comment, or I can copy it to Group 2, or I could delete the transaction. If I decide, oh, that was a mistake, I don't want to, I just delete it. I'm going to leave it alone for the time being, and we're going to build a second group, and I'm going to show you how groups work. So let's go to the second group, and we're going to look at running backs, and we're going to see, oh, Mark Ingram is available. We're going to have to spend a little bit more than 22, we believe, to get him. So we're going to drop, let's say, David Johnson. So shows here, add Mark Ingram and drop David Johnson. Now I'm going to get that $18 salary to add to this 22, so I'll have $40 to bid on Mark Ingram. But $5 I've already committed to Chris Conley, so I want to keep that in mind. So let's say I bid $25 here, and I'm going to put this in Group 2. Because I want this to process even if, regardless of if I get Chris Conley. If I don't get Chris Conley, I want it to process, and if I do get Chris Conley, I want this Mark Ingram still. But I'm not sure I'm going to get Mark Ingram, so I want to add a backup running back or a selection here. So let's say I want to add. Oh gosh, there's not very many good ones, is there? Let's go with Devontae Booker. Let's say I have a feeling that Saquon's still going to be a little bit limited in his production, and Devontae is going to, for some magical reason, get a ton of carries. So I don't believe I have to drop Devontae right now. So but I'm still I don't want to add him, and if I get Mark Ingram, so I'm going to say add Devontae Booker. I'm not going to drop anybody. But I'm going to spend $5, let's say, because let's make it $10. Now I want to make sure this is in Group 2. And I can submit this request. And now the system will show my Group 1 waiver request, show my Group 2 waiver request. When it comes to processing waivers tonight, if Mark Ingram is processed, it won't look at Devontae Booker at all. If Mark Ingram doesn't get processed, if I miss out on him, then it'll look at processing Devontae Booker. And the order matters. So if I want to move it, that's why I have a move up here. If I had, let's say I want to add another one too. Let's say Carlos Hyde, he's getting some touches there, and I want to add just $2. I'm not going to drop anybody, and I want to make sure it's on Group 2. So now I have Carlos Hyde, Devontae Booker. So I want to move him up because he's going to get carries, and I've only got a $2 bid amount. So if it gets to Carlos Hyde, it won't look at Devontae Booker. If it gets to Mark Ingram and I get Mark Ingram, it won't look at either one of these. So I can have 5 groups like this. Now, if I want the copy to Group 3, let's say I use this button here. So what that does is it'll make a 3rd group for me, and it'll copy all of these players. So that way I say, if I don't get this one, this one, this one, or any of these in there, I mean, for whatever reason, I want to add another, let's say I want to go with Rex Burkhead from Houston. You love those Houston players here. And I want to make sure it's added to Group 3, and it's going to be a $5 request. So now I have a 3rd group. So only one of these would more than likely win. So what happens is if Rex Burkhead wins on this one, I can still get one of the 3 that's listed with it because they're listed in this group as well. This allows for very complex and very complicated waiver request. I don't think most people will even need that level of complexity in their request, but it's there if you want to pursue it. I hope that answers a lot of questions, and good luck.